Do I look awake to you right now? I hope not, because I'm pretty sure I'm sleeping, stuck in a nightmare of streaming services. It's so exhausting. Chick-fil-A is apparently launching their own streaming service. Kind of. It's more so the company that owns Chick-fil-A is launching a streaming platform, but even still, there's a lot of silliness to touch on with this. I've already been shaking my fist at the clouds about how absurd streaming platforms have become, and every company on the planet is fishing for any possible excuse to launch a streaming service to try and wring you out like a towel to get a couple extra doubloons to fall out of your wallet. And today it's been reported that Chick-fil-A is putting their ass on that toilet seat as well. They're going to be having their own streaming service, apparently. Chick-fil-A being closed on Sunday has given the executives some extra time to cook up some of the worst ideas imaginable. So, before going into the nitty-gritty and diving into the weeds, I think most sane people would probably write this off as a horrible idea. They're a fast food restaurant. They're not in the entertainment industry. They don't have a catalog of productions or anything except for like the Eat More Chicken commercials. But you can't really launch a streaming service that's just Eat More Chicken animated adventures or whatever. It's super stupid. It's not like they're gonna fill their Chick-fil-A Plus with, Martin Scorsese exclusives or anything. It would very likely be just quickly shot, haphazardly thrown together garbage, would be my guess. Again, Chick-fil-A is in the fast food industry, not the entertainment industry. The only thing they entertain is my butt with a little extra poop when I eat too many chicken nuggets. According to Deadline, Chick-fil-A is working with a number of production companies and traditional studios to create multiple original shows for a streaming platform debuting sometime later this year. So mark your calendars, it's coming pretty soon. I can't wait. Maybe this is going to be the platform that picks up Halo Season 3. Imagine how blessed that would be. Halo partnering with Chick-fil-A to deliver the worst adaptation mankind has ever experienced, and bringing more of it. Thank God. Initially, the restaurant is said to be focused on family-friendly, unscripted programming, including a game show produced by Glassman Media and Sugar 23. I'd never heard of either of those companies, so I looked them up. Glassman Media has this impressive resume here. I've heard of 3 things on here: The Wall, and Bingo. All the others I'm in the dark on. Ex-Wives Club sounds like an absolute banger, and The Cowboy Way looks like Ram Ranch, and it was so good they brought it back to Ultimate Cowboy. Those actually look like the covers to those like erotic novels that you see on TikTok from time to time, or like a Chuck Tingle book or something. Maybe the show is incredible. Maybe it absolutely claps cheeks. I couldn't tell you. But The Cowboy Way and Ultimate Cowboy really caught my eye. And of course, I'd never heard of Sugar 23 either. It sounds like a screen name a Predator would have used before being busted by Chris Hansen. But I looked into Sugar 23, and I don't really understand. So on their website, it's a bunch of buzzwords about innovation. It's a talent management and production company that's been reimagined, which to me sounds like one of those Michelin-starred restaurant, like pretentious menu items. It's a deconstructed hot dog using squid. But they keep talking about, the mission to impact culture through entertainment, world-class entertainment executives in scripted and unscripted TV, film, and podcast. They create original premium content for global distribution. And here's one of their examples. P&G Studios, Time Studios, and the secret sauce, Sugar 23. I love that they call themselves the secret sauce. That is adorable. Came together to make a star-driven documentary series focused on making the world a better place. Sounds very wholesome. Quick side note, you know what I'm really tired of? Star-driven anything. The Borderlands movie should prove once and for all that people don't really give a fuck about the star power behind a film if everything else about it is terrible. This probably doesn't apply to that documentary series. Again, I don't know anything about it. But just that word star-driven or star-studded, that word is foul to me now. It's like poison. Let the material of the production speak for itself, and if there's great actors and actresses attached to it that people know, then that's just a bonus. It shouldn't be the selling point of a movie. You've just wasted a ton of money on an absolute dog shit script, talking about Borderlands here, and paid hand over fist oodles, millions upon millions of clams for a bunch of A-list actors and actresses that don't want to be in it and can't save it. It's just a waste. Anyway, though, Glassman Media and Sugar 23 that we just learned about through this quick lore breakdown, this adventure I went on, they are slated to be working on this in some capacity, but down the line, the currently unnamed service could also feature original scripted series, animation, and content that's either licensed or acquired from other entertainment outfits. And thus is the curse of streaming services. Anytime one of these fucking things sprouts up, they always take from other already existing streaming platforms to try and get fans of whatever that product was to just immediately buy a subscription to your new one so that way they can continue to watch it. I hate that practice so much. Like, if you go to try and watch the entire Pokemon series, like Donkey illustrated in his video about streaming services, you have to go to, I think it was 7 different platforms to watch the entire series or something crazy like that. It's unacceptable. Like, that should just be illegal. It really should. It's such a headache. It's such a nuisance, and it's extremely expensive to do that. It costs more than cable for that, obviously. And if you have just one streaming service, your catalog is constantly dwindling and constantly subject to change, normally for the worst, because other streaming services are starting to poach from it. It just sucks. It super sucks. Companies don't really suffer for it, but consumers do. So I just imagine a world where Chick-Fil-A All Day Turbo Vision Plus, or whatever they're going to call the service, comes up, and they just say, you know what, we're going to grab a couple of seasons from all of these different shows, this mishmash of a ton of beloved properties, and immediately slap them on our platform, and hopefully we can get some of those fans to just buy a subscription here so they can continue to watch what they love. I hate that. Like, it's so awful. I am beyond tired of all of these streaming platforms. It's so unnecessary. It's like Horcruxes. You have to just like defeat all of these other streaming platforms, kill them, let them die out, so that way you could just defeat this streaming menace and stop the gold rush once and for all. It's the only way. Chick-fil-A hasn't announced or publicly commented on the programming initiative, but a pivot into entertainment production could be part of a bigger advertising or customer data play. Customer data is more valuable than money at this point. Every single company on the planet is doing everything they can to grab as much data as possible. It is the number one currency in the world, period. It's fucking crazy how much they salivate over data. But anyway, Disney does it with Disney Plus, and it drove Walmart's interest in streaming, which ultimately led to partnering with Paramount Plus. I highly doubt that if this streaming platform launches, and it seems like it's going to, it's not really a question of if, more of when. It seems like they're already so far down the pipeline here that it's coming. And I just have no confidence in the quality of the shows they're going to slap on there. I just have no faith that there's going to be anything worth watching from the Chick-fil-A streaming platform. Now, maybe this will age terribly. Maybe in a year from now, this will be the number one platform. It produces just heater after heater. It's nothing but top tier level shows, but I'm just gonna stamp my nuts on this here. I bet it's gonna come out and it's gonna be fucking flops. It's gonna be a clunker. I'm speculating that this streaming service is going to go the way of Quibi. If any of you remember Quibi, God rest its soul. It came out and it raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and it tried to be this platform that delivered like big budget short form shows and movies, and they were all terrible. And that has since closed its doors, but it was a very expensive endeavor, and it was a very stinky one. I'm catching a whiff of that same smell with this pivot here from Chick-fil-A. It's a smell that smells smelly. I'm huffing these rancid fumes, and I think it's just going to be completely worthless. That's my prediction, but I'm no Nostradamus, so we'll see. I'm not Baba Vanga, you know. But here's a very important tidbit here. The idea of a company launching an entire streaming service filled with feel-good stories just to sell chicken is a bit odd. Peculiar indeed, but those stories might just feel super good and have you scratching at your neck for some chicken. It feels important to bear in mind that Chick-fil-A is owned by the Cathy family, whose independently managed trust was instrumental in the foundation of Trillis Studios, the Atlanta studio most well known for its frequent work with Marvel. Chick-fil-A's corporate ties to the entertainment industry make this kind of move somewhat easy to wrap your mind around to a certain extent, but it's much harder to imagine people actually wanting to sign up for yet another platform that's probably going to be filled with commercials. So the family that owns Chick-fil-A already has an entertainment background, and from the bits of research I've done, they also have a lot of studios that don't see a lot of work right now. So I believe the idea is to just have those studios churning out content for the streaming platform to hopefully get a little bang for their buck out of those studios that are right now just kind of dormant. So to me, this seems like less of Chick-fil-A itself making this platform, and it kind of just being more of like the face of it to a certain extent. So it's wanting family-friendly content. It's going to be obviously advertising Chick-fil-A, I imagine. But it's more so the family that owns it already has access to these things to make content. So they're just going to try and make it for a streaming platform just to see how it goes. Because they can, I guess. Either way, I still think it's a horrible idea. And I don't think anything good is going to come from it. Well, yeah, I guess I could be super wrong about that. It could be an incredible platform, but I don't think so. I don't see that happening. I had to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya.